It's time for the Alamo City Golf Tour Power Hour, featuring Travis Salkowski, Dustin Hassan, Casey Graham, Jason Bird, and Mike DerManuelian. Let's go! Good evening, Alamo City Golf Tour. My name is Mike DerManuelian. Welcome to the ACGT Tour Power Hour. And we've got a great show for you tonight. Super excited to talk to you. The idea behind this evening is we want to take you on a little trip. Actually, we want to take you on a little travels, a tour travels. Tonight is the ACGT Tour Travels Edition. We're going to talk everything that is traveling with the tour. It's going to be a really fun night. We're going to talk about some of the great places that we've been, share some fun pictures, fun videos. We're going to have a special guest on tonight to talk to us about his travel experience, and we've got some fun announcements as well. So let's jump right into it. First and foremost, let's bring out the man with the plan, Travis Salkowski.
Woo! Good evening, MD. It is November the 22nd, 2022. It's 8:33. Do you know where your kids are?
Yes, I think.
I only have one. She's in the living room. It's good to go. MD, how the heck are you? It is Tour Travels Special Edition night on the Power Hour.
Yes, it is. I am great. Tour travels. I'm literally, every time something goes wrong when I play golf, I just think to myself, I'm almost in Kohler. Like that's my go-to for when things are wrong.
I agree. It is such a benchmark staple as part of the tour now. Tour travels is definitely something we kind of all use by as our calendar by. You know, like, hey, it's the first week in June every year is the big trip, and it's like, okay, we only got 6 months to go. We are only at 4 months to go. It's 100 days. Okay, here we go. And then by the time you're, on the plane home, it's when are we going back? And I think it's so cool that we go to Kohler, Wisconsin, and it's so personal for me. And I'm sure we'll get into a bunch of that on this special edition Power Hour podcast. But heck yeah, happy to be back. It is episode 37. Good Lord, that's so much. That's amazing. I'm super happy with it. I love you guys. I love you, MD. Kicking it back. Here we go.
Perfect. Let's bring in the man of few words, but by God, are they impactful, Jason Bird.
What's up?
And there you have it. And let's bring in the man who we all enjoy seeing and his just beautiful beard and luscious hair.
Oh, you're talking about me?
Casey Graham.
I thought you were talking
so
about
disappointed
me.
he wasn't talking about my hair right there. Oh.
How we doing, everybody? Glad to be on episode 37. It's going to be one of my favorite episodes to talk about. I really enjoy this tour travels thing that we got going here. So
it is definitely one of my favorite weeks of the year. It's such a cool trip that it's difficult to come back to the real world after it, right? Because it's so rock star.
Yeah.
But I love tour travels. I love what it means to our organization, and I love the experience that we get to bring the tour golfers from San Antonio. Oh yeah, no fireside chat, Greg Graff. I think there'll be some fireside chat coming up in the near future, but I love the fireside chat to the plain vanilla background. I love it. I'll keep us guessing.
We've only
painted that one himself.
So let's kind of jump right in. Let's talk about tour travels. I'm going to throw it to Travis or Bird because it's really your guys' baby, and I think can be best explained by you guys. For those people who aren't aware of tour travels and this trip, talk us through exactly what it is, what it means, and what it's all about.
You want to go? Or you want me to go?
You go ahead first, and then I'll interrupt you 5 times.
Okay, perfect. Well,
It's just the truth.
it all started because we just all started taking golf trips together, and I think a little bit got born out of my crippling need to make sure everything runs on time. I think it was the second trip we took. I can't remember exactly where it was. These all run together now, especially with my work travel. It's just crazy for me. But I think Travis is sitting in the Expedition Max, as he always has to have the Expedition Max. And he said, I wake up, I know exactly what time I need to be at the car. I always get there on time. We have a great time. We have dinner and we repeat it. Why couldn't we do this with 24 people?
That's exactly how it started, Jason. You were exactly correct. We were in Kohler ourselves 4 years ago, and we were bouncing back and forth, and we chose to go to Kohler that year. It was the middle of the pandemic, and we chose to go to Kohler, Wisconsin, because I'm from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, just outside of Kohler, and every hotel in the world was closed at the time, and my parents still have a house in Sheboygan, and we wanted to travel, but we couldn't travel because the hotels were shut down. So we ended up traveling to Wisconsin. My folks were traveling that weekend as well, and I think a couple people slept on couches, and all of a sudden Tour Travels was born out of that trip, and that's exactly how that conversation happened. All we do is logistically timetable, right? That's all we do as golf course operators and tournament operators. It's this time to this time to this time to this time. That's all we do is logistically plan, and we were able to take our guys' trip and turn it into a brand of the tour, and then share our traveling experiences with the tour players and the tour golfers themselves. And we treat it like a tour event now. Live scoring on the trip and logo merchandise. I mean, Casey's wearing his Tour Travel shirt from last year. Their golf balls, their towels, there's welcome bags. The whole thing is, I mean, it is turned into this, high-end, completely catered to the tour golfer. And I mean, you don't have to do anything now as the tour player. I mean, you just show up and you get picked up and you get taken from point A to point B. The schedules are all done, and it's turned into this really full service golf concierge trip from a conversation and an expedition. And Bird is right. The four of us, I'm including Dustin in that. MD, I'm sorry, I'm including Dustin in that. Original Tour Travels foursome was Casey, myself, Jason, and Dustin, and Bird joked about the Expedition Max. And when we travel like that, it's so crazy because nobody talks to anybody anymore. Everyone just goes right to their seat in the vehicle and goes.
We all assign roles.
Yes, and it's so comical, and we all just kind of travel in the same way, and honestly have an amazing time, and share that with tour golfers now. That's the gist of it, Bird, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's. I take a lot of pride because you and I are the ones that talk to the resorts, and Kohler has been very, very good to us since 2020, right? They said, come on down, give you some discounted rates. We got 14 people on the tee sheet and you're 4 of them. And all that we ask is you eat food and beverage here and just throw us a few bones, because we're getting killed. I don't know if the average golfer realizes pandemic boom was really good for local community courses, really bad for resort destination courses. So your Bandon Dunes and your Whistling Straits and your resort
Stream
destinations,
Songs and
Stream Song, Pinehurst,
Pinehurst, Kiowa.
they were struggle busting for 4 or 5 months there that summer of 2020. So it was nice of them to welcome us back. We'll welcome you more specifically, but we got an intimate relationship formed there, being one of 14 people on the tee sheet and probably the only people ever to eat in those restaurants for 2 months. We got to hang out with the GM, the head pros, and the people that you'll never see if you go just go book around or go book even a package at Kohler. And we go to all these places, we take all these trips, and we talk all these resorts, and it's always Kohler that says, "Hey, why are you looking at other places? Come back, come on, we got you."
They are exactly like that. And just to let everybody know, when we say Kohler, it's Kohler, Wisconsin, and it is the Destination Kohler Golf Properties, which in case 4 golf courses, 5 with the bats. You're correct. 5 courses, 4 championship courses, 2 at Whistling Straits and 2 at Black Wolf Run. So when everyone hears those names, they think immediately of Whistling Straits, which is the Straits course at Whistling Straits. That's the host site of the Ryder Cup from the year before last, which was played last year.
2021.
The 2020 Ryder Cup played in 2021.
2021.
That was the official name, yes.
Yes. And then the other course there is the Irish course. And we'll show tons of pictures tonight on this special edition podcast. All tour travels all the time tonight. And then there's 2 courses at Black Wolf Run actually in the city of Kohler. The River course, which is my personal favorite course. We'll go over some of our top 5, our top lists in the middle of the show here. And then the Meadow Valleys course, which is probably the course that I personally have played the most in my entire life. I grew up in Sheboygan, and my mother worked for the Kohler Company for years, so I kind of learned to play golf in the junior camps there. And then I worked at Whistling Straits for several years and played most of my golf walking on the Meadow Valleys course there after work. So it's a special place to me for sure. I get all emotional when we go back because they're so cool and they're so nice to me personally. And then I get to share that with my friends and tour golfers. So it's absolutely an intimate relationship and a super special place. And 4 top 100 golf courses, an award-winning short course, which is amazing. MD, can you take us all off the screen and just show the background photo?
Yeah.
And still hear us talk? Is that a thing? The picture behind us here is of the Baths short course taken last.
Here, I'm gonna put the
We can
picture
just
on.
pop it in front of us. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So this is just an example of that. This is the par 3 course on the Kohler property, and it's 10 holes. The sun was setting here. This is hole number 6.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's hole number 6 on
Hole
the
number 6.
10-hole short course. And I mean, it's just amazing. Every hole has that much character on a par 3 course.
That's the hole we all hit 40-foot bombs for birdie on.
That's the hole. The hole always this putter makes putts.
Except for Trav, I think.
Oh, I wasn't
I
gonna say that.
I hacked it to the right there, and then I chunked it out. I made a great bogey.
Great bogey.
Great bogey.
But yeah, so every single golf hole, whether you're at the Straits course or the River course or one of the other 2 are on the Bats, feels like that. And you have memories that come out like that, like, oh yeah, that's the hole I made the 40-footer on. Oh yeah, that's the hole you made it on top of me. We all played that hole great, except Trav was over in the long grass over there. You know, that's exactly what this trip is all about, is that last 30-second exchange right there. I mean, that's perfect. That's perfect.
I love organizing it. I love getting everybody from the tour out there. Childhood friends come with some of the guys, and we become friends with them. And I love the big dinners and the betting and the games that go on and the one-upsmanship, but it's all friendly at the same time. And You know,
I love Jason holding up the sign at the airport. Tour Travels.
That's never happened.
I think that's great.
That's never happened.
Well, write that one down, please. Write that one down, please, on your new notepad. That
I love the.
I don't see
50
Jason Bird at the
bus.
airport. Yeah, 50-person coach bus for all 7 people.
50, yeah, for like what is it, 12 people? That was great. We provide transportation. It's a short 45-minute drive from the airport. I want to make it to where you buy your plane ticket, you land in Milwaukee, and as soon as you leave that Milwaukee terminal with your golf bag, you don't have to worry about anything after that. You know.
That's exactly right. Yes. Yeah, we pick you up at the airport. There is included transportation on the resort.
If people use it, you go to the spa. You go to Whistling Straits. People were going to the Whistling Straits Pro Shop on their off time, just taking the shuttle out there, or they're I like the Whistling Straits putting green better. Went out there and putted at Whistling. You know.
Right. I mean, that's something that has definitely changed over the last couple of years. Is customers on the survey. Tour golfers on the survey said that they wanted more free time to experience the resort. So we've incorporated as much, personal time there as you can, because the spa is a top 5 spa in the world.
And it's amazing.
Yeah, listen, I'll tell you what, it is rock star good.
They even let bearded dudes in there. So,
yeah, I mean it's. The dining is amazing. There's a swing studio.
The tavern, great.
I mean, and not to mention just the town is pretty freaking cool itself. It's like a storybook, perfect town. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, the town's awesome. We're shopping, some good eats, some cool sights. The world's largest freestanding American flag hangs over the Black Wolf Run because of Acuity Insurance is headquartered across the highway. So it's you never hear the highway on the golf course, but it's nearby because you see that gigantic American flag off.
And then every year you look it up and it's like, oh, it took this much concrete to pour the footer, and the flag weighs this much, and each star is 15 feet across.
And they have to replace it yearly, stuff like that. Like that flag is new every year, like because in the winter it gets beat to shit. It's every spring there's a new Acuity flag. The flag's like, wow, I mean, what was the cost of that flag? It was in the 6 digits, right? It was like $110,000.
Listen, I'm gonna look it up now. We can talk about it in a second.
Yeah, it's and then the courses are all awesome. Like everyone ranks the Meadow Valleys as number 4, but pretty sure you put that golf course by itself anywhere and people are going to rave about it. The fact that it has
I would argue that this past trip it was the hardest one for everybody.
It was my
favorite. Because of the wind.
So
that's right.
So the Meadow Valleys course is definitely ranked the highest. I'm sorry, ranked the lowest in the top 100. It's ranked 75 or 78, or the Straits course is ranked 4. The Meadow Valleys course back 9 is part of the original 18 holes at Black Wolf Run. We can get into that a little bit later, but the back 9 at the Meadows Valley course are the best 9 consecutive holes on any of the Kohler properties, if you ask me. Pound for pound, every shot on the back 9 of the Meadows course is stellar. Including my personal favorite hole number 14. Name of the hole, Snake Course. It goes downhill, dog legs right.
Oh, so hard.
It is the picture on the backdrop of my media guide photo from last year.
That hole's dumb.
That's a great hole. It's just
how many times have I played it? And I've never hit the green regulation.
Dustin plays that hole well. He plays. Dustin plays that hole way better than he plays hole number 1 on the river course.
It's because he plays the hard handicap holes amazing.
Hey, Dustin should go try hole number 1 from the tips at river course and see how much he loves that hole.
Dustin teeing off on hole number 1 at the river course MD looks a little something like this.
Addy H.
We've been queuing that one up for a while. He's not on the show tonight. We hope he's feeling better. He's a little under the weather.
It's that's a 64-yard carry if you want to know it. He almost got there.
That was the first. That was the first golf swing of Tour Travels 2022 this past May, and I think everybody in the comment section just asked to see it again.
Yes, of course.
Now, in case anybody's wondering at home, how do you score that on a Tour Travels trip? The Tour Travels rule sheet is a little more friendly, and there were 2 off the first tee on this day. That was the spring points leader. Thank you, Casey Carnes, for requesting to see it again. MD, Casey Carnes.
Cue it up.
Is
Like, I'm just gonna play. We don't even have to have a show. I'm just gonna loop it.
I think that would be our most watched show.
The first shot of the entire trip, DH is like, I'm gonna use my breakfast ball.
So good. Poor DH. I'm sorry you're not here to defend yourself. There's another good photo of DH from 2019. Did we find that one, MD? That's the one.
2020, yeah.
Yeah. That's the birth of Lake Face.
Lost to me by 2.
Lost to me by like 30.
Oh.
Hence the one-up comment we made earlier.
Yes. Oh my goodness. See, it's all about, and the reason why we're doing that and kind of making fun of DH a little bit. 2 reasons. A, we want to show what the Tour Travels is all about, right? I mean, real friends talk shit to each other's faces and are nice behind their backs, right? I mean, it's that simple, right? So here we are live on the air showing our best Dustin experiences, and then for real, I mean, that's going to be funny for 30 years,
I'll remember that shot, and I remember that round because I played with Steve Robert that day.
Wasn't the first Lake Face we've seen, though.
Yeah. I love playing with Steve Robert, I got to tell you. We had a good time. We rode in the cart. Steve Robert's a good guy.
I played with MD that day.
You and me.
And Micah Carroll and Mike Sherman. See, how crazy is that? Like, I can just whip out the foursome from Tour Travels because it was such a cool day. I have no idea what Casey was referencing just a moment ago. Either, if he wants to elaborate on that one, I guess I'll take it.
Oh, you're talking about Lake Face?
We can tell that story if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. All right. So it was the 2020 bet, right?
Yeah, it was our first year going to Kohler, just the 4 of us. It was just the 4 of us. It was myself, Jason, Casey, and Dustin the first year in Kohler, and there was nobody there.
Yeah, go ahead. Introduce it, and then I'll chime in.
Nobody.
Okay, perfect. That's great. So the 4 of us this is our second or third trip total, and we're now in Kohler, and we gamble a little bit on the high score, and money for us doesn't really matter. It's more about personal humiliation.
Yes.
And so we're like, high score from that day has to jump in Lake Michigan. And it's May in Wisconsin, and Lake Michigan is 48 degrees out, and it's freezing, and it's terrible. I mean, it's spring. It's spring in Wisconsin. It was cold.
And that first year, it was still cold outside. We didn't get the 70s and 80s we've been getting on our recent trips. It was like 45 degrees outside.
Yeah, like beanies, long underwear. Yeah, for sure. And the first day we played 36 holes every day we were there. We played like 13 rounds in 9 days. It was dumb. I was so tired. I couldn't do that now. If you asked 40-year-old Trav to do that, I couldn't do that right now. And we walked a lot. Oh my God. So
they didn't have caddies, right? No, they did have caddies.
Yeah,
they did, but they couldn't touch anything. It was
They
very
couldn't
weird.
tou- yeah, they couldn't touch your clubs.
It was
They were
very
like
weird.
they were walking four caddies. You had to carry
Yeah, it
your
was
own bag.
very
Yeah,
weird.
That was a weird time for sure.
But we
which hole were we finishing up on? It was number 18 right below the cabin.
Oh, well, that was the second day. The first day, before we get to me, this is all climaxing with me here.
See what you're doing.
You told me to take the story.
Please continue.
So, the first day, Casey had to jump in the lake. And he did a great job. And all of a sudden, the lake bet was born because he went back in. He was like, he went in the lake and he came out, and we interviewed him there standing on the edge of the lake, and it was hilarious. And he went back in.
Keep in mind, I wasn't even close to anybody. I think both rounds I shot like 88, 90 something.
Yeah, the first day you were off, and then all of a sudden it became serious the second day. And so Casey like started the lake bet right there because he went back in. He's like, this wasn't good enough. I'm going back in, and he goes in for a minute, and it's freaking cold. And now it's like, oh man, I'm gonna grind it out as much as I can because I ain't going in the lake. And the next day we were at Black Wolf Run, and we played 36 holes. We played Meadows in the morning and the river in the afternoon. And coming down the stretch, I wasn't playing great. And then we got to the middle of the back nine, and then Casey had a blip on hole 15 or 16, and the door creaked open for Trav. The door creaked open for Trav. Jason's up 30. I mean, he made that joke earlier, but I think he won that trip by 30. I think 10 over me.
Don't tell him, but I left it unlocked for him.
And
What?
That's so rude. That's so rude. I was playing good and I was playing hard.
From re-engage, quote unquote.
And I tied it on 17.
Yep.
I tied it on 17. And I'll let Casey take over from here because this is where it's
okay. It's a super long par 4, 18th hole finishing.
505 into the wind.
Yeah, dog leg left, slight dog leg left. Travis is coming off a pretty good back nine and he's feeling it, so I'm slightly nervous. I don't want to go in the lake again. But I'm like, okay, I've got maybe a length advantage here. Maybe he's going to go driver long iron. I might go driver mid iron, and I'm just going to have to beat him with my putter. Well, Travis, he hits a bomb, but he puts it left into the bunker. This fairway bunker probably goes, I don't know, Bird, what do you think, 150 yards?
The whole way? No, I think it's way more than that. I think it's 250, 300 yards. I think it's the whole entire length of the fairway.
That's the bunker that they can flood and make a water trap on command.
Yes.
It's a waste bunker. It's not, I don't think it's actually a fairway bunker, but I think it's so cool they can flood that thing.
So, yeah, Travis pulls his drive in there. It's a really long drive. It's into the wind. And then I hit my little pole cut that cuts back to the fairway, and I'm in the middle. And Travis, at this point, off the tee, he's mad. He's got the sunglasses on, the hat down, even though it's almost it's sunset.
It's almost dark.
He gets into that phase. Okay, now I'm serious. So we get up to this ball. He has no choice but to try to hit a 3-wood or something out of that bunker, and proceeds to just drive it right into the top of the hill, and it comes out 5 yards in front of my drive. And I don't know what's going through his head, but I know I'm probably just laughing. I can't quite remember.
I am definitely mad. I am mad, and Casey's laughing out loud in the middle of the way. Because what he hasn't said yet is it's still like 240 yards.
Yes,
so I
it was
can't
into the wind,
and I can't get there.
But you remember you got even more mad after I hit the 2-iron out of that same fairway bunker to like. You got super
that's
pissed.
perfect.
You got super pissed.
Listen, Bird, at that point in the round, it was just between Travis and I. And
No, Travis got real mad after that because he had just like scraped it ahead of you, and then I did that, and he was. I think his words were "fuck you, Bird."
and then Casey hits a shot, and then Casey ends up making a bogey.
Mm-hmm.
Casey ends up making a bogey, and missing piece of information here. Casey said somewhere he was beating me so bad in the middle of the round that he said, "Hey, listen, if it's a tie, I'll still go in." So I'm playing for the tie here for sure. And turns out Casey made bogey. I made Rockstar 6 there at the end. I think I double bogeyed the 18th hole to shoot even par on the back nine. And and I lost by 1 to
so
Casey.
Epic.
And then I had to go in the lake. And I made a comment earlier that we gave Casey an interview there on the beach before he went in. Yeah, I didn't even want to turn around to the camera. I was so mad.
Yeah. That invented the lake face for us. I don't know if MD's got that picture, but
I've got DH's lake face.
Yeah, that was the day after.
I got breaking news for you guys.
Terrific! Anything to change the subject and not show this picture?
We were wondering how long that waste bunker on 18 is on that hole.
Oh, did you Google Earth it already?
I Google Earthed it. The hole itself is 495 yards, and that fairway bunker is on 442 yards of that hole.
Woo! Almost the whole way. It's a great.
Well,
it starts even beyond the fairway.
MD, do you have the picture I sent today loaded up of the hat? The tour hat is kind of in the corner, looking out the clubhouse of Black Wolf Run.
Well, I mean, I'll find it.
I know. I'm sorry.
I have so many freaking pictures.
That was the first picture we took last year.
That just shows the hole we're talking about perfectly.
Scanning. Still scanning.
I sent a lot of stuff today. I'm sorry.
That hole has a massive fairway, but if you do hit it in that waste bunker, you do cut off like 30 yards of that hole. So I don't know. What would strokes gained say on that?
Strokes gained would say hit it in the waste bunker because you can ground your club. You can take practice swings. Strokes gained would say the yardage there would supersede the fairway. It looks like we don't have any of the lake face photos.
I didn't get that picture from you. So
awesome, excellent, great.
What does strokes gain say about hitting the hill on the way out? Oh, nothing. Okay.
I do, while we're talking about the lake experiences, while we're talking about all this stuff, I do want to bring on our guest. I did tell him what time I would have him on. And
terrific! We have a guest.
Terrific.
So 2 things. One, I do want to add this picture real quick. This is the face of someone who's about to go in the water. But that being said,
dramatic delay. I love the dramatic delay there. For everybody just viewing, it is November the 22nd. It's 9:05 p.m. This is episode 37 of the Tour Power Hour, and we are talking Tour Travels. This is the Tour Travels special edition. Tour Travels is a big golf trip in the spring every year that the tour puts on and takes tour golfers across all over the country. We've been to New Mexico, we've been to California, we've been to Florida, and we are specifically talking about the big tour travels trip to Wisconsin. And that's where we're at. And MD, we have a guest, and this guest is a mainstay on tour travels trips.
He is a mainstay on tour travels trips. Fun fact, he is one of the last 2 people to actually participate in the Lake Challenge.
That's correct. My goodness. What a great picture that is. Sheboygan County, June the 2nd at 11:04 p.m.
Two people who were not afraid to go swimming that night.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you lost your wedding ring that night. Is that accurate?
I did. My ring is still sitting in the water out there somewhere. Let's welcome Greg Graff.
Greg Graff.
How are y'all doing?
Because it's out there in the water because I went all the way in and like disappeared into the night, and the other guy belly flopped in order to
Flipped
qualify
around.
to get up to his
Came
shoulders.
out. Greg Graff, how the heck are you doing tonight? Thank you for joining
Doing
us.
great. Doing great.
I love
going on,
the
buddy?
I love the backdrop that you chose for tonight's show. The Tour Travels Special Edition show. I love that. I can see Paco Ridge. I can see the Bull. There's Whistling Straits. There's Erin Hills. And I don't. What's the one in the middle?
Chambers Bay
Chambers Bay
is
and then
right there. Yeah.
And then of course Augusta on the bottom. Bird has also been to Chambers Bay. Thank you for joining his flex on that. Good job, Greg. Greg, holy cow, you've been on just as many Tour Travels trips as Casey has. No, I'm just kidding. But man, you've been there since the beginning. You've been to Kohler,
Paco.
Kohler
times.
twice. Yep.
And then Paco Ridge once with Tour Travels,
Yep.
and then Paco Ridge again with family afterwards, right?
That did happen. It was way rainier than when we were there, so we went at the good time.
Well, I'll tell you what, I love Paco Ridge, and I'm dying. I didn't prep you for this at all, but I would love to hear your top 5 travels courses. Your top 5 courses, maybe, and think about it. Jot it down as we go around here. You don't have to answer right now unless you got it.
Like for me, 1 and 2, probably 1 is the Bass. Like all the stuff that we've done at the Bass and everything. I mean, I look forward to going there and the big 2-acre putting green and the 10 holes. Meadow Valley, probably second.
Wow,
Like,
this is fantastic.
Like I really like one of my
news.
My favorite round last year was the 40-mile-an-hour wind at Meadow Valley that we played. And, I mean, it was just so much fun.
Balls would stay on the green.
Those were the best greens I putted on in 2022.
Yeah,
I mean, they
totally
were tabletops, but you could still stuff a 4-iron and it would spin. But they were rolling 14s with no grain in 40-mile-an-hour winds, and it was intense.
It
was crazy. It was the coolest experience.
Elevated green.
Yes,
I hit that ball up there, and it just didn't stop. It couldn't even stop it. And you'd putt it, and feel a gust, and the ball would just go at that gust.
I mean, it was so fun. It was so infuriatingly amazing.
I mean, number 3 is a slope, and the wind was blowing balls up that slope, and I was like, oh my God. This is
I played with
insane.
MD that day too. On hole number 3, he hit this amazing putt, like 50 or 60 feet, like up the hill and then down, and then a gust of wind carried it down the hill backwards. I mean, it was great.
It was the only
Wolf Creek.
That was one of my best rounds of the week too. That was like
that was one.
That was the only I did well during that week, but that was the one that I won. Was in that shit.
Listen, I hated that round. So
it was awesome.
I hit driver off the deck like 4 times in that round. I mean, you just talking about the memories. I think I wore yellow pants that day. I mean, I really think the memories from this trip are just locked in forever. Okay, so Greg Graff, your number 1. Let's finish your 3, 4, and 5. Finish your 3, 4, and 5.
I would probably. Oh God! I mean, that's so tough. I would probably go Whistling, then Irish, and then Rivers.
So all like 5 of his top 5 are at Kohler. I mean, that is amazing by itself.
Oh, I thought I was ranking.
Oh
those.
no, do top 5 overall. Do top
We're
5.
doing top 5 all travel golf courses.
All travel trips.
Ooh. I mean, Paco's got to slip somewhere up there.
Right? Yeah. Paco's number 2 on my list.
Paco's probably got to be number 3 for me.
So Baths, then Meadows, then Paco.
Yeah.
Then the Straits course.
Yeah.
Chambers Bay has got to be in there somewhere too, right?
For the course, yes. Like I rate it very high for the course, as far as like amenities and everything off the course and around you. Kohler just beats it every day.
Yes, I agree completely.
I mean, when I was there, at least it was right before the U.S. Open. It was great. I mean, they had it in fantastic condition, but the clubhouse is like, I mean, it's
yeah, for sure. No, it's a municipal golf course.
yeah. I mean, it's
Same
like
thing.
Mission Del Lago Clubhouse, or something.
Right.
I mean, it's
Yeah. So we'll say. Well, I mean, everyone here will agree that Torrey Pines is the same way. We went to Torrey
Pines has some good amenities, though.
Yeah, but not at Torrey Pines, at an adjacent property.
Yeah, in Chambers, there's not even anything near it.
Yeah,
I mean, you just drive through neighborhoods.
I mean, Torrey Pines itself is 2 golf courses, a driving range that only has mats, and
most days
a clubhouse that is maybe the size of Riverside.
Yeah, actually, it's closer to Riverside at Chambers Bay, about that size. Like Mission's way bigger.
Chambers Bay is like rolling through suburban New Braunfels, and bam, here's your golf course, and here's your tiny ass little pro shop, and you're like, okay, and then like you got to get shuttled down to the actual golf course from the pro shop, and you meet your caddy, and you're like, okay, this is an actual like high end course, but when you first pull in, you're like, huh.
Listen, I'm a par 3 fan. I love par 3s. I love San Pedro driving range. I played it a million times. I love the short course up at Sand Valley. I love short courses. So I was thrilled as all get up when Kohler said they're building this award-winning short course with record-setting putting green and putting course, and then they're going to put Kohler Hospitality out there at the same exact time. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. And I think it's so neat from the places that we've all been that you pick a short course as your favorite experience. I mean, what more can we talk about tour travels that's better than that?
That short course is definitely the favorite we've been to, and we've been to a few of them now.
Yeah, and I mean the putting green and all the time that we spend around it, just we were making up games. We were playing skip a hole where you're playing like par threes.
And I love how Kohler does apply a price to the tee times there, but when you're there on a package, they're just like, yeah, whatever, just go play. Like no one ever got charged. It's kind of just the thing you can do whenever you want,
And there's food service there.
The bags that they provide.
Yeah, they have Sunday bags for you, so you don't have to carry a couple gloves. The bratwurst are available there
for free. Steve Roberts for free.
So good. Yes, Scott Williams, free bratwurst. Free bratwurst and hot dogs at all Kohler properties all the time. I'm sorry, I lagged there. It glitched out and came back. Everyone's here. Nobody said anything.
Glitched out on the Matrix.
Jeff Worm, yes. Bandon Dunes. Jason is accurate there. Bandon Dunes Golf Resort will not make tee times for more than 8 golfers. And then,
unless you have previously brought a group of more than 8 before, then they'll work with you as a legacy customer.
They will realize they need the tour at some point.
Yeah, sometime it'll come down, right? It's okay. Is
that 6 courses now?
I think it's 8.
Is it 8? Wow.
Where at Bandon?
No, Sheep Ranch was 6, right?
Sheep Ranch is 5, unless you count the short course.
The short course is 6, yeah. We've talked about Sand Valley. We've talked about Arcadia Bluffs. We've talked about Pinehurst. And Jason said it earlier in the show, we always keep circling back to Kohler because of the relationship we have with them is so doggone good and the service is so great. Greg, I'm going to continue to put you on the spot here. Whip out some stories from this past year's trip or the year before. Let's.
Here's a bad story that with a good ending.
I love bad stories. With a good ending.
I love happy endings.
This just shows the level of service and everything and support that they give you. If y'all remember, they broke my driver on day one.
Yep.
I went to my golf
That's
cart
right.
and my driver was
right.
snapped in half, and they were just waiting to see me, to see who showed up for the driver. I'm like, what's going on? They had a Callaway Maverick, which is the closest thing they had for me to play with the entire time. They told me to bring it back to San Antonio. They're like, hey, look, we'll figure out your shaft, but it's it's going to take a bit. And so they told me, just take this club with you. I worked with the head pro to get, the shaft that I had. Actually, it ended up Ben had one, so they just paid Ben over at San Pedro. But
That's amazing.
yeah,
I mean, that's amazing. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I just learned. I knew they broke your driver and gave you one. I didn't.
No,
He tried to give him a made for Ventus shaft. I was like, no, Gregory, you want the Bellator.
But I mean, just the fact
I
that
do remember the look on my face when you were like, I was like, and
Day
you're like,
one.
no, it's fine. They gave me
A
a
brand
better
new
driver.
He pulled one off the rack. It gave me a brand new driver to use along here. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, they took care of it, and after we were gone, they could have, not followed up or anything, but they stayed, on top of it and followed up, and they were just amazing.
So good. The service there
Dan
is
runs
so
a
good.
tight ship over there.
Yeah.
Dan, the head golf professional at Black Wolf Run, is amazing. This year, this upcoming year, we'll have a private reception party on the driving range in which Dan and myself will host a clinic.
And Dan's bringing me a Sprecher.
I know, right? It's so great.
Are you going to use the chipper in your clinic?
I would love to give I would love to use the chipper in a clinic. I listen. There are very few things in the world that I get to humble brag about, and the chipper is one of them. And I don't know why.
Is it a humble brag?
It just worked out that
Usually
way.
feels like straight brag.
I'm gonna go with experts get treated like experts because they act like it. I'm gonna go with that. And in reference to the wizardry with the chipper,
I'm the best at being humble.
Jason Bird. That was Jason Bird's t-shirt. But yeah, Kohler is something else, and that is a really cool story. I actually broke my driver that day as well.
You broke it with me.
I broke it on
mid-swing
on the river course that day. Yeah. They did not give me a shaft.
They did not.
They didn't break it. You did.
Yeah, for sure.
What were you doing when you broke it?
Swing. It broke it active.
Literally
active.
hitting his tee shot.
Yeah, I hit my tee
He
shot
has,
on hole
he has
8.
a violent transition.
It's a little snappy. It's a little snap back at the end. And I think it broke at.
It broke after impact. I mean, you still hit it. You still hit the ball well.
I hit it great. I had a good shot. Yeah.
All you did was see that.
I made birdie on that hole.
Yeah, you just see the Travis like snap, and then you just hear crunch.
Yeah, and I'm just holding
and
the handle.
We're all just looking at each other.
Just holding the handle.
Like, what did he do?
Yep.
It was fantastic.
Yep. They brought me a rental club. No. Yes, I finished that round with a rental club, and then another Tour Travels golfer had a backup shaft with a Callaway tip, and I used that.
Joey G.
I'm sorry, I got distracted by the comments there. Greg, question: you've been to Paco Ridge multiple times. What is it that brings you back to New Mexico?
Ooh, well, so that was actually my dad's choice, but I wholeheartedly wanted to go. I mean,
top 100 facility, number 50,
yeah.
number 50 in the country. I think 50, 51, 52.
We
somewhere
played.
in that range.
I think we did
I have the list right here.
Cochiti, then Paco Ridge. We got rained. I mean, we played 9 holes and got rained out, and then we did Black Mesa 3 times, or I did it 3 times. They are up there in age, so they needed a rest day. So I just went back to Black Mesa, and then Twin Warriors, and then back to Paco, and played all 27 that day.
That's good.
So
Paco Ridge,
27 holes.
Facility. Yeah.
Nearly got. I mean, it was inches from a hole in one on hole 4. That would have been really nice. The diabolical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Love it.
I mean, that green that's 90 yards deep. I mean, it's something silly.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah. We played it one day and it was 5-iron, and we played it the next day and it was sand wedge.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yep.
I think when we were there, I think that's the way it laid down, because we played it back straight, and then the next day we played it front from the left tee box, and it was almost diagonal. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, we had a great time. I would happily go there again. I would say outside of, oh gosh, when we went, I think that was the nicest turf I had ever seen. I mean, outside of, Augusta, but like to actually play on. I mean,
I agree. The course
just
conditions,
so
the course
pure.
conditions when we were there. What year were we there? 2021, 2020,
2021,
2020, I thought.
2020. Yeah.
2020.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah, we
made the drive.
drove there no
Yeah.
flags of the pandemic.
Yes, yeah. That was the first. That trip to Paco was the first time we took golfers with us. That was the first time. It was 12, 8, 12,
Mhm.
12?
The
8.
3 cars, right? 3
Yeah,
cars.
3 cars.
I think 12. Yeah.
And that was our first time taking golfers out of state, and we drove because there weren't flights to Albuquerque because of the pandemic at the time, and we drove, and it was a whirlwind golf trip. It was 10 hours in the car, and then we played. It was 10 hours in the car, and then we played, and then we played 36, and then we played 27, and then we drove 10 hours.
Yep. Jason Bird found that amazing house in the National Forest. It was 3 stories.
Oh, we stayed in a B&B that week. That's right.
Yeah. Casey Graham slept outside under the stars in the National Forest.
Casey Graham did sleep outside on the cot, and then Dustin got the floor again.
Yeah.
The house was awesome, and it was cheap.
Such an amazing
Up in
house,
the mountain with that view and on sunrise, I was like, I think it was less than $90 a night for everybody.
We are not going to tell the story, but one of the best ever stories. And if you want to hear this story, you can talk to Jason or Greg personally off the air. We're not going to tell this story online, live on television, But man, one of the best ever tour travels stories happened.
So when I farted?
Yes, it was. That's perfect. So y'all can talk about that personally off air. But those are just, circling back to the memories on tour travels trips that last forever. And it's just like, oh my gosh. But Greg, what we'll put you on the spot again. We'll continue that. I didn't prep Greg for anything. He's coming in blind today.
He's a trooper.
Yes, he's been on every travels trip. And let's talk about Kohler. And what keeps bringing you back to tour travels with these guys to the same place, right? I mean, that's a legitimate question. That's a legitimate question from a potential customer. Is like, hey, you've been to the same place 3 times. You're going back again this year. Why? Like, what's the deal?
I mean, just the fact that everybody returned should speak, for itself in some ways, that everybody wants to go back. But yeah, I mean, the memories, the dinners, for the most part, we try to play with different people. So, I mean, every single round, and that works out. So, it's just amazing times. So you can play with, very accomplished golfers all the way down to less accomplished golfers in the same trip.
So politically correct. It's so politically correct. I love it. Accomplished golfers ripping off 85s, feeling great about it,
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that round in the wind, I don't know. I don't think I think I shot like a 90, which felt like, just shooting, amazing for me.
I love those. I love the trips just because of that. It's like everyone shows up. We play the first round. Everyone shoots bad, but then you playing 7 rounds in 6 days, or 7 and 5 or whatever. You're playing a lot of golf consecutively, and the scores come down because you start getting in your groove, and I don't get to practice as much anymore. I just love that on those last 3 rounds, I've usually found my groove, and I go do some dumb shit on those golf courses.
You are exactly right, and I don't care how we do it, but we just need Michael Freeman to go back, because I personally don't get a chance to play a ton of golf anymore, and I never get a chance to practice. So
Well, you spoke to the relaxed rules a little bit earlier, and that was one of the things that stuck with me. Is I was playing with Michael Freeman, and we were playing the Rivers course, which is probably, well, I mean, tee shot wise, probably the most penal.
yeah, it's the hardest.
The river
river
course is the hardest course at
Yeah.
Cole, for sure.
And
From the
I
tips,
think,
for
oh
sure.
gosh, it was the I think the third par three, and he's hitting a 7-iron, right? And so on the Tour Travels trip, we have a breakfast ball you can use on a tee shot, any tee shot. But it just was like a different world to me when I watched Michael Freeman. Still has 5-6 holes to go, whereas some of us mortals, I guess, or whatever you want to say, less accomplished, we're saving our our breakfast ball for the oh crap moment. It just hit one just sideways, and he uses his breakfast ball on a par three because he missed in the greenside bunker, and he hits in the same bunker, which was like like within feet of the first ball. But just it was a crazy experience to me just to watch him. He's got 6 holes to go, and like no cares in the world, he's going to hit the fairways.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with that. And no matter what we do, we need to get him to go again because
Yes.
for whatever it is, I'm blessed to play really good golf in front of Michael Freeman. And this past Tour Travels trip was my personal best ball striking I've had in a decade. I mean, every shot, it was crisp. It was the best golf I've played in a long time, and it's fun to do it on the Travels trip. MD, what have you got for Greg Graff?
I mean, I think you just asked. All the questions.
I so
yeah.
many.
Oh, to the also to that question, since Kohler is kind of, it's this little fairy tale city. Everybody's kind of also doing the same things, and so you have a lot more camaraderie versus say if you went to
Vegas,
just like where everybody's going to just okay, we get done with golf and then you just take off in your own separate ways. Whereas Kohler, every night we're just doing tour travel stuff, so it's pretty special.
Doing things is a whole lot more enjoyable with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said a little bit earlier, we treat it like a tour event. There's live scoring, so you can share with family and friends. It has its own Facebook page where you can share with family and friends and post photos of everybody, and then rip media from all directions. But you're right. The hanging out afterwards is what really we talked about it a lot with the South Texas Match Play Challenge, the camaraderie of the guys, and that's really. Really prevalent on the Tour Travels trips. The dinners and the fireside chats. Like I loved hanging out in the locker rooms afterwards. We had the last night, the four of us actually ate dinner in the locker room at Whistling Straits. It was probably one of the coolest times I've ever had. And the dinners and the food and beverage experiences are so over the top great. And then you put it with the guys that you just play golf with. And you're right. Nobody disperses. Everybody hangs out together. And that's really cool. Really good point.
Yeah. And you hang out at the Village by the Village, the little strip mall area that the hotel is in has the tavern, the swing studio, the lake. You do paddle boarding. There's ping pong. There's the
fitness center. Yeah, that fitness center is awesome.
Yeah, there's pickleball and racquetball, and you can rent fishing clubs and go fishing at the Wood Lake, the actual lake.
Fishing clubs. What are fishing clubs, Jason Bird?
Fishing clubs, yeah.
Fishing poles.
He fishes differently than we do.
Oh.
Yes.
Greg Graff, favorite moment from a Travels trip ever.
Man, I've thrown some of them out there already. I would just kind of go with the camaraderie. I would say the Paco, the National Forest House.
The National Forest House.
Yeah. We
Jason,
just all went back there. We just, had a blast.
Jason Bird, same question to you. Favorite Tour Travels moment of all time?
It's I think I've mentioned it before, but I'll never I'll never forget the razzing everyone gave me when I said I'm gonna go play Whistling Straits from 7,800 yards. They're like, "Oh yeah, fine, go do it, like whatever, Ryder Cup tees, whatever, good." First hole eagle.
Yeah, dunk it.
Second hole birdie.
That is
hole,
the best I've ever seen you drive the ball ever.
Third hole, I hit it to this far, almost made a hole one. And so I'm 4 under through 3 holes from the tips at Whistling Straits, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now?
You and Tiger Woods hitting those long irons, eh?
I think I hit a 5-iron and just dropped it like right on the hole. And
Didn't your caddy compare you to Tiger?
Freeman, McDowell are with me. Alan Crowder, I love that guy, but he is absolutely in every tree possible. I don't think he understands what's happening in front of him. And Michael Freeman's like, what the hell's happening right now? Like, I think Michael looked at me. It's after I hit the tee shot on 3, and he saw how close. He goes, "What the hell's happening right now?"
Oh my goodness, MD. Same question to you. Favorite tour moment of all time?
It was technically. It's part of tour travels technically. Mammoth Dunes.
I agree. Okay, so that's a great point. So Mammoth Dunes, northern Wisconsin, Sand Valley property, 2 courses. A third is opening this year. A fourth is opening in 2024.
I think they both opened this year.
I thought they both opened this year.
Their desire is to have 7. It's a super cool place. And I always encourage all the tour travels golfers. Our trips are Monday to Friday for a reason. They are Monday to Friday, so you can have the weekend on the front end and the weekend on the back end to do your own thing. And the round that MD is about to talk about was the Saturday before the tour travels trip this year. And it was the 4 of us. It was MD, myself, Casey, and Dustin. Jason went to Erin Hills that day with the A squad
with Sandoval.
And okay, MD, go ahead.
Fellow ambassador,
A squad member, Jason Sandoval. Yes,
perfect. Fine. That day was the most fun I've ever had playing golf. It will be my favorite memory, favorite round of golf ever. We got up early, had a fun drive. To drive to Nakusa takes what? It took 4 hours.
MD flew in early. MD flew in early and surprised. I knew he was coming, but he surprised Casey and Dustin. So he picked us up in his minivan, and it was solid 3 hours, is it not?
Solid. It was at least 3 hours. It was close to 3 hours
from your parents' front door when we did it.
Yeah. It's 4 hours when you leave your wallet there.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that tour travels event. Yes.
Oh, it's a terrible feeling when you leave your wallet somewhere. Terrible feeling. So MD, myself, Casey, and Dustin are up in Nakusa playing Mammoth Dunes, and MD is right. It is an awesome day. We all shoot under par except Casey.
We had it was me and was it me and you, Trav? No. It was me and Casey playing against Dustin and Travis. We had our caddies. They were well aware of the game. They were kind of looking at us before we teed off, like,
who are the guys? Because Casey's in loudmouth. I'm wearing red pants. Yeah, and
we look like absolute, just.
And it's the day before. It's the day before tour travel starts. We have 20 customers flying in the next day, and we're off horsing around. And we're literally goofing around. And y'all know me. I'm maybe a little loud, and when MD gets going with me, we're a little loud. And then you throw Jason in there, we're a little louder. And you can throw Dustin in there 10 times, and it stays the same volume.
I barely talk. I man a few words.
So we did our thing. Had a really, really fun round of golf. They got super competitive. It resulted in a round that provided 19 birdies. It was, I believe, 7 birdies for me, 6 birdies for Dustin. You had, I think Trav had 4 in there. and then Casey rounding it off with like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was great, and talk about experiences. We talk about experiences all the time, but the caddies were into it. I walked in and sung in a long putt, like
it was
like a 50-footer for birdie.
He had like a 50-footer that halfway through it,
I started
singing "The Greatest Showman."
Yeah,
and then
great.
Dustin bangs in. Yep, there's a scorecard right there.
That's a lot of circles.
Oh my goodness. 72, 71, 71, 77.
What happened to Casey there with the 77? What's going on?
I don't know. He shot 38,
we
39. He played great. He played great.
What a slapdick.
But like we had holes where like on that hole, Travis will bang in a 50-footer. Then DH follows up with a 30-footer. And then I make the 20-footer for birdie. We're all just like, what are we doing?
It was crazy, and
it was stupid.
It was one of those moments where the caddies were like, well, we won't see this again. I mean, it was really cool, special
and they
time.
say it all the time. Like I thought, like when they first said it to us in 2020, they were being nice, but like every year, some caddy says that to us, completely unsolicited.
Yeah, I agree completely. Let's circle back to Greg Graff. What you got, buddy?
Another one of my favorite moments on the flip side of that.
Okay.
So the first time I played Whistling Straits, so for people who don't know, the caddies double bag, so they're carrying 2 bags. Yep. And it was Sean Sexton and me that he was carrying for.
Okay, terrific.
And if Sean went left, I went right, and vice versa. I'd go right, he'd go left. The caddy, I mean, he's just dying, carrying both these bags, just. I think it was hole 16, and we both, he had to have not hit his great because we were within a yard of each other in the middle of the fairway, and usually he's way by me, but we're right there, and our caddy looks at us and he's just, why effing start, why start now? Might as well keep doing it for 3 more holes.
And you're right, the caddy experience makes or breaks it. I mean, if you have a bad caddy, it can really hamper the experience. But if you have if you have a good caddy, it can make a good experience great. And if you have a great caddy, it can make a good experience world class. And I've had great caddy experiences every single time at the Kohler properties, Sand Valley, absolutely. There's one caddy at Sand Valley though that ruined my life.
Jockey
made my experience terrible.
You loved him. This is great.
The guy who. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Ethan.
No, I wasn't there. I know what happened because Jockey was on my bag.
Yeah, the second. Yeah, the third year. Yeah.
And he says what he says to Jason, but I get no comment.
Yes, it's insane. We have 19 birdies. You don't get a comment. Okay, so hold on.
Iron striking should be a little bit more crispy.
My iron strike.
Jesus, good Lord. Okay, I don't even want to tell the story now. We are at Sand Valley in 2021, and it's me, Dustin, Casey, and Jason Bird, and we're on this par 5. And Bird's played good all day. And him and me are in the running for low gross for the trip, so we're trying and we're grinding it out. And I'm
definitely trying.
I'm trying hard, and Bird. So if you haven't been to Sand Valley or Mammoth Dunes, the concept there is never lose a golf ball. The fairways are 80 yards wide at a minimum. Super fun. The greens are huge, 4 or 5 times bigger than the normal green. I mean, super fun. And Bird hits this tee shot, and it's like 80 left. And I'm like,
that's not even an exaggeration. I duck hooked it. I hit a quacker.
And I'm like, great. I finally have a chance. I can get some back here. I'm grinding out and trying hard.
I think the caddy said, I think that's left side fairway. What did you say?
I'm like, no fucking way.
No way. Chance. That's exactly what you said. No chance.
And I'm like, no way. And he gets over there. It's in the fairway. And then he proceeds to hit this 2-iron bullshit from nowhere, from what I thought was going to be dead to on the green,
291 yards.
to on the green putting for eagle. And I believe he 2-putted for birdie. I hit a great chip shot from.
I was that short for eagle.
I was over the green in 2. I hit a great shot. I believe we both birdied the hole. Move on. Next hole, Bird hits it a little left again, and he's in this fairway bunker. And the caddy tells him, caddy's name's Jockey. He tells him to chip out. It wasn't
even my caddy.
He tells him to chip out. And Bird's like, hits 6-iron over the lip of the bunker, hits the back of the green, and like spins it back to. And on the next hole, the next tee box, like I'm now, not only am I mad that I'm playing good and Jason's pulling shots out of his ass to like continue to like distance himself, but this caddy says, seriously, man, and it like didn't even say it to Jason. He said it just to the group, like out loud as a comment because he was such in awe. And he says, man, the only other person I've seen hit long irons like you is Tiger Woods. And that was
zero comments.
Oh, it was exact. It was just like that. It was just like that.
I'll never forget it. The first thing I did was look at Travis's reaction. He is drinking a Gatorade and spits it out.
I was drinking a blue Gatorade, and it was.
So he spits it out, turns around to his caddy. It's his caddy who said it, not mine. It says, "I just want you to know you just ruined my life."
and we've talked about it weekly for 3 years. You know, it's those
wasn't even my caddy. That's
those are the stories that come out of the tour travels trips.
I mean,
I
think when I think of the travels trips, I mean, I agree with Greg. The Babs is maybe one of my favorite places to play. And we had the opportunity to play it like back in 2021. We had the opportunity to play it like a couple of days before it officially opened to the public, to everyone.
Yeah.
And one of the coolest experiences that we will ever have, that group specifically will ever have, that no one else will ever have there, is that we played a horse race that night. And we had 16 people there.
Yeah, we played a horse race on the Baths. Yes.
16-guy horse race on the Baths.
Over MD. It was Dustin made a putt on the last hole.
It was Dustin. I lipped out on the last hole. Dustin made it. And you know what? The only thing I thought about prior to going this year was, I'm gonna friggin' win at the Baths this year. That's my goal. I love the Baths. It's so much fun.
Greg Graff, feel free to stay. Do you need to go? Do you want to hang out with us for a minute?
No, I'm good.
Okay, terrific. MD, let's cycle through some photos. Do you want to just cycle through some? I mean, there's no rhyme or reason to any of them. I
want to start with this one. I love this picture. I think this is a really important picture.
There we go.
That is amazing.
That is Rick Coinsey. That is hole number 12. Actually, it's hole number 11 green at the Irish course. And at this stage in the game, our fearless sponsor was too tired to walk up to the tee box. So he took a break, and MD snapped this photo. And I have a feeling that's going to be a logo coming up soon. I think it's going to be great on a shirt. And I love that photo. Okay, let's go forward.
I got a Greg Graff.
Oh, there's a Greg Graff. That is
number 17.
It's number 17 on the Meadows. Yep, maple syrup is the name of the hole.
Love that hole.
I can't remember if it was that day or not, but one of those was a shank up into the green on the right-hand part, and I putted it from there. It might have been that day.
I'll tell you what, I hope that's the camera angle, because that's a weird spine, hip angle. You got knee.
He is aimed on 16 fairway.
Yeah, spine, hip, knee there. Like if that shot doesn't go right, I would lose a bet.
The first year when we were there in 2021, I played with Tyler Pascal there, and right-handed, I think I blocked it right, like almost into the cart path, and I was just over my day at that point. And I'm like, give me your clubs, and he gave me his iron, and I stuck it to like maybe 6 inches. And so that was lefty. It'd be shutting my brain off. That's such a great hole. Here
all right,
is...
next we got. Oh, there we go. That's this past year. There's the the 4 OGs, the original golfers.
I mean, that picture doesn't do it justice because it was dark when we took that picture.
That picture has very signature Trav filtering done to it.
Oh.
Yeah, it does. Good God, does it?
Oh, there's the yellow pants I was talking about. That is hole number 4 at the Meadow Valleys course. Hole number 4. Driver off the deck. Made birdie there. That's a solid outfit. There's Jason Bird. Look at that. Look.
Yeah. Me.
That was his media guide page from this past year. So we started putting together a media guide for all the golfers going along. That way, you know your tee time, you know your GGID. That is my page from the media guide. That is hole number 14 behind me on the Meadow Valleys course. Thanks, Greg Keogh. It's the same. So that is the same picture. That is the same.
That's a
picture.
different picture.
It's
as the guide. Yes, I was about to say.
Yes, that's the same picture from the guide. That is Torrey Pines South.
Number 4.
That is hole number 4. That is my 40th birthday. I turned 40 there, and these guys were nice enough to take me to Torrey Pines. I did not score well that day. Jason Bird beat me, I believe. But I started the round with the same golf ball that I hold on hole number 18.
Which I want to be clear is an accomplishment because when we played in January, they had the rough still up from the U.S. Open anticipating the Farmers Insurance. And
it was insane.
Do you remember the assistant pro in the shop bitching about it, saying, I can't believe we're keeping this rough up. That's why we're playing in 5.5 hours. And, I mean, it was dumb. That rough was definitely like halfway up my calf. You could lose a ball 6 inches off the fairway for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Micah Carroll went with us on that trip. It was me, Jason Bird, Casey, and Micah Carroll, Ambassador Carroll. Super fun time.
Yeah, it was a great time. My girlfriend was there. She took all those photos.
And we are back to Whistling Straits. This is hole number 18 on the Straits course from down in the Schmutz.
Schmutz.
This is the Bads. That's the Bads.
18 Bads.
Number 10. The last
10
hole.
Bads.
The last hole. Yes, you're correct. The last hole. Walking down to the Bads. You can see the putting green over there to the right. And then the pond.
They turn into each other.
Yep. And then the pond with like a grill window, but it's not just a grill window. It's a really good grill window.
Yep.
All right. This is great. There's more Torrey Pines.
Another Torrey Pines.
Torrey Pines is great. I love Torrey
Pines. I really liked it. And I, you know me, I'm a municipal golf pro, right?
Yeah,
I'm a golf pro of the people. And I love the fact that Billy Bob Joe Public can play a U.S. Open course 7 days a week. I think that
$55.
I think it's really cool. Okay.
Is it a rule that all courses have to have the same clock?
They get donated. Fun fact: they're donated by
okay. I didn't know that.
To host a major championship.
Is this more Bads?
I believe it is. I have so many pictures and so many.
That's the Bads.
That's the Bads. Yeah, there's 2 greens there. Okay. Yep. This is a good one. This is the screen grab. That is at
Irish.
That is on the Irish course. That is Doug Calkins. Fun fact, that was we used that photo as like the trip promo photo the year afterwards. I don't know if y'all can see, but that is his golf ball under the lip of the bunker right there. And that is not acting. That is his actual reaction to that shot. And I wasn't there.
Hear him say
that was me. That is actual.
That's number 10, right, Greg? That was number 10.
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, it's a great photo. This is Torrey Pines. I'm sorry.
No, that was Broadmoor number 3.
That was the Broadmoor number 3. Yep.
Where am I at? Okay.
That's
Torrey Pines number 3.
We're still at Torrey. I'm going. Travis sent me a lot of Torrey Pines.
Because there's a lot of them. My girlfriend had her camera out that day, and she took thousands of photos.
You keep bragging that you have a girlfriend.
I'm sorry.
Alan Crowder asleep in the Whistling Straits locker room.
Yeah.
Some of the days afterwards, rounds feel like that. They do. He is stone cold snoring in this photo. Stone cold snoring.
I've got a separate picture here now. This is a little off of the tour travels. This is actually me with Micah Carroll and Mike Sherman playing in a 3-man event in Missouri. But I call this a mini tour travels event.
I agree.
We got to play an event out in Missouri at a course called Sedalia. Absolutely gorgeous, very short course, but a lot of fun. And had a great time doing that. So got to have that kind of cool experience. Oh, there's a good picture.
Oh, there's Sean Sexton, Cooper Willard, and Joey G on the 18th green at the Irish course.
Absolutely.
Yep. And then
all three.
I do have no,
Perfect.
Forgive the quality there. That was a screen grab from my phone. I'm sorry about that.
I don't know why I downloaded like that.
That was from this past year's tour travel strips. Just one of those memory makers that your phone puts together. And what was really cool watching that, I didn't know it was coming up at that moment in time, but was really cool watching that is every single person, whether it was me or not, the smile was huge. I mean, the smile was huge and the smile was genuine, and it was 100% good times all the time. And that's just what I take away from the tour travel trips. This is just rock star fun with rock star good dudes all the time.
And I think one of the unique things was that this was the first year that the tour van was driven to Wisconsin, and that was
yeah, DH. Absolutely. I have an emotional connection to the tour minivan. Her name is Roberta. She is a 2005 Toyota Sienna.
Max speed 64.
67. We set the cruise 67. At 67 for 1,500 miles. And she did great. The check engine light came on in Dallas on the way there. And
once.
Yeah, it only came on one time. And hasn't gone off since. But super fun. I love the tour van. Sorry, I had to jump back in and
I was gonna reference the fact that you and DH drove it up there this year, but we got to do a on the road interview while you two were driving. I think I spent we set up a Zoom call or something so I could record the whole thing. And I think we talked for an hour and a half on your trip, just going through the entire. How's the trip going? We did a full-on interview.
Yeah, I thought that was super fun. Some of the best content, some of the best blooper reel content came out of the van time. Super fun.
Yeah, I mean, these trips are just so much fun. They're so unique. They're so different. There's no place that you're going to go play golf anywhere else or be a part of any group that's going to do this. That's going to work as hard as Travis and Jason do to generate and create this really, really unique experience. And it's one of those things where it's you call it a once in a lifetime trip. It's a once in a lifetime trip you can take every year. And that's really the whole point. And it's every time we go, there's something different. We find something new. We have these new memories, we have these new things, and it gets so ingrained in your system. It's just like, I mean, I guarantee you at least 2 or 3 times a week, I sit to myself and I'm like, Kohler's coming up.
Kohler's
Like,
coming
almost
up.
time to make my deposit.
I mean, we're already preparing for it at work. That it is something that there are a few things on my calendar that are non-starters, and that is one of them. And I've known the dates of this trip for a few weeks now, so I've been preparing at work. But
beep! Special news alert.
I think we can all guess when the dates are going to be, but I'd like to officially say that the dates of the Kohler trip are signed, sealed, contract signed, or May 29th, 2023 through June 2nd. So that's
the 28th. The 28th. May the 28th.
Yes, the Sunday we all arrive.
Yes. Yeah. The Sunday we all arrive on the 28th of May. The first round of golf is Monday morning, the 29th.
Correct. Sorry, I was looking at the golf itinerary here.
Yep. And then departing Friday the 2nd. So it is the time of the show. We've drug it out for an hour and a half now, talking about our favorite golf memories. It is the time of the show where we just got the special news bulletin alert sign from MD. It is time to drop the news that the 2023 Tour Travels invites are coming out in the next 24 hours. Woo! So I know it's so crazy. It's here. We are ready to. Jason, as he said, he got the contract from Destination Kohler and the Kohler Properties a couple weeks ago. We've been working around the clock to get everything that we need done to get this information to the tour golfers. Jason, do you want to give us a rundown of how this is going to go out to the golfers? Who gets the invite first? Who gets the invite second? And then how does it get towards the general public?
Oh, I mean, every year we increase how many people go just because demand is so high. But just like tradition is now, this is the 7th or 8th volume. Whoever went on the previous one, the immediate previous one, is going to get first right of refusal. They're going to get the first round of invites to get their deposit in and lock themselves in to go again. Then we'll go back one more travel trip and invite those people. And then we'll go back one more. So we always go back 3, and then we will open it up, what we call the general tour golfer. Anyone else, any of the new people that want to go will be on the 4th invite list, I guess.
That's correct. So we added another layer this year after the travels trip invites go out. I love Casey's comment there. That's a good one. I'm checking on flights now. Scott Williams.
Don't even bother with Southwest. They're awful.
So, yes, Jason's right. Last year's trip gets invited first. Then the trip before that. Then all collective trips get the 3rd invite. And then we'll give deposited, reserved golfers for 2023 an invite to invite a guest. So if somebody from a previous trip wants to bring their son, or wants to bring their best friend or their business partner or whatever, that is a round of invites after the tour travels, player invites, guests of deposited golfers. Everyone would get one there, and it's a very short window. And then, bam, it opens up to the general public afterwards. Fun fact, we have never made it to the general public sale. So I think this will be the year, being 24 plus 4. This year will be the year that we could get to general public sales. Private message us on the Facebook page to be added to that list. If you are a 2022 Tour Travels participant, expect an email within the next 24 hours from myself or Jason with the 2023 invite. So I know that's super cool. I know Greg Graff is texting dates right now. And I know MD's already got it off. And
Morgan's just hoping for the invite to come down to her.
Yeah, we're hoping, Morgan. And hope Morgan. We hope it gets to you. We hope it gets to that third or fourth tier. You know, it's such a super cool trip, and I'm glad we were able to announce this with Greg on the air on the podcast. And I think that's kind of what we were looking to do, and I think it was really cool.
Yep.
Jason, what do you got to add, buddy?
I mean, I think you hit all the good points. I love everyone that goes. I know we have 4 extra spots to bring some friends. So, I'm hoping we get everyone back from last year, and then we add 4 new people ready to party on the golf course with you guys.
Yeah, heck yeah. Destination Kohler, Wisconsin, 2023, May the 28th through June the 2nd. Write it in your calendars right now. Message us on Facebook to be added to the general public list. And hopefully it gets to the general public list. Like Jason said, it's going to be a hard sell to get past travels, trip golfers. Greg Graff, I know there's tons of thoughts rolling through your mind right now. Being on air when this news dropped that you didn't know was coming. What are your thoughts right now? Talk to us.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely looking forward to it.
GG, I got my little notebook here. Can I put you down for credit or cash?
You can credit.
Jason Bird taking deposits live on air. Scott Williams watching right now is the first person on that list. He confirmed last June the 3rd. He was already on the waiting list for next year. All 4 of us on camera will be participating in Tour Travels next year. We know Casey will be there. We know Dustin will be there. We know Scott Williams will be there. Hopefully, like Jason said, when the email invite goes out, everybody from 2022's trip will be there, and we've got some room to bring some more. So really, really, really excited. Really cool show. MD, are there any more pictures that you want to scroll through that are photo worthy here an hour and a half in?
No, not right now. I'm laughing right now because I'm sitting here. I have my phone open, and I'm sure Bird can see it too. The tour inbox is starting to blow up with people freaking. I'm seeing it just keep popping up. I'm like, all these people are losing their minds right now. They're like, I'm in. So that's really fun to see.
It is something that's super special and something that we hope and again, this is our intent, is to get it to somewhere where it's like, oh yes, I'm on the waiting list, but I'm 10 years out. Like it's like Augusta tickets or like Green Bay Packers season tickets. It's a generation out. Yeah. So I think it's really cool. MD, I'll kick it back to you. What a great episode. If you wanna take it away.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for hopping on, like Greg Graff, hanging out with us for a while. Always good to see you. Jace, Trav, as always, I talk and see you guys all the time. But to everyone out there who watched tonight, appreciate you taking the time with us. Super excited, as always, to talk about the Tour Travels, the exciting things that happen there, what we're looking forward to, the memories that we have, and that we'll, to Travis's point, we'll be talking about for the next 10, 20, 30 years of our lives. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a lot of cool stuff going on. So those emails will be coming out soon. So everyone who should be expecting that first email here in the first 24 hours, get ready. Woo! And, with that being said, we're on to next week. We've got some exciting things to continue to talk about here over the next few weeks. A lot of things going on here at the tour that we are excited to share. Whew. It's it never stops. The tour does not have an event, but we are all doing something around supporting the tour right now, and there's a lot to share. So it's going to be a really, really good time.
Yeah, heck yeah. Next week is going to be a really cool show. It's going to be the Tour Awards Banquet show. It's going to be a really cool episode. That's on the 29th. And then everybody wants to mark their calendar for December the 6th It is going to be a huge podcast for the tour. So write that one down. Share on Facebook. We next week, Tuesday night, is going to be the award show hosted by Casey the Viking Graham. It's going to be a great show. And then the week after that will be a huge show for the tour in general. We want everybody to watch on the 6th of December. It's going to be a big show for 2023. I'm writing some checks right now that Jason's going to have to cash. I believe the 2023 schedule is coming out on December the 6th. Can I say that?
Affirmative. That schedule is locked and loaded.
Woo! So we got award show next week, and then we've got schedule drop and a huge podcast on December 6th. But tonight it was all about Tour Travels and Tour Travels 2023 information coming out in the next 24 hours. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to name this year's trip. It is Tour Travels 2023 Peanut Squares and Pull Tabs.
Sprecher.
That's what I'm going. Peanut Squares and Pull Tabs. Anybody who's been to Wisconsin,
Easy on the speed there.
Wisconsinite gets it.
Yeah.
Pull Tabs and Peanut Squares. Chew your food responsibly.
Those tabs are so weird.
I know, it's crazy. Let's go, MD, around the horn. Let's closing thoughts. Closing thoughts.
I'm going tonight, and I will dream of cheese curds. I think next year I'm driving up next year. So my goal will be to sample cheese curds as I go and do reviews as if we're doing Barstool and Pizza. I'm doing cheese curds.
I think that's great. I wish I sent you 150 photos today. I wish I would have sent the one of me at the Pig leaving Piggly Wiggly. It's a grocery store in Wisconsin. The Pig. Leaving Wisconsin to drive back to Texas. The conveyor belt at the Pig is just all stuff you can only get in Wisconsin. It's like 10 summer sausages. It's like six packs of spotted cow, hard rolls, Miesfeld's cheddar. That was my favorite. Pull tabs and peanut squares. Woo!
You gotta enunciate.
Jason Bird.
Yes.
This is part of the podcast where you give your final closing thoughts.
Do you know how to speak?
You know what? It's an hour and 40 minutes in, and it's starting to slur together. Peanut squares. Peanut. Oh, I get it now.
That is better.
I just got it right now.
Give him a break.
Peanut.
He's getting older.
There's a T at the end of peanut squares and pull tabs. Really, guys? Come on right now.
I love peanut squares so much. I love going to your mom's house and there's just fucking peanut squares on the table, and we've been driving or flying all day, and we're just like, oh.
Perfect closing
Peanuts. They are peanuts. They're chopped up peanuts on angel food cake with cream cheese. It's peanut squares. Peanut squares. AC Graham, thank you for jumping back on. Would you like to share your final thoughts in a more appropriate manner than Jason's?
Here's my final thoughts. Just remember to chew your food better.
And he's gone.
And he left. Greg Graff, for the first time in your ambassador career, your final thoughts on the Power Hour podcast.
I mean, if you are lucky enough to get an invite, it is completely worth it. I mean, you will never, ever, ever regret it. You know, years down the road, you'll have memories from this.
Greg Graff, thank you for circling back to the topic of the podcast.
Thank you for the responsible answer.
Of which the four of us could not do. Thank you so much for doing that. We appreciate that. We appreciate your time. Everybody from home, thank you so much for joining us. A big round of applause for Greg Graff joining us as tonight's special guest. Jason Bird and MD, as always. Casey Graham. My name is Travis. MD, take us away, buddy.
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. What a fun show. Lots of exciting things to come. But we will say goodnight. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share this page, keep getting it out there. We want everyone to keep watching, but we will see you guys next week for the award show. Have a good night.
So, MD, cash or credit, sir?
I'm going to go end the show here, and then we will discuss my financial situation.
Okay.
Woo!
Good night,
Y'all,
all.
thanks for watching. See you next week on the award
Does
show.
that mean FTX stock or something? Is that
Yes,
what you're
all my
gonna try to do?
FTX stock. I'm sending you all of my stuff.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Woo! Thanks for watching.